What comes to your mind when you think of educating your child, or say when you want to educate somebody about something? Then what strikes your mind? What should you be doing and what should you be saying? So do you associate education with feeding in information to that person? Hey there, this is Sujaya and welcome to the Parenting Through Inner Power podcast, the PIP podcast. You are here listening to me talking about education. Share not everything about education, but a little stuff about around it, which you could definitely implement in the next 24 hours with your child or in your child's perspective. So let's see what education means. Before going into the true definition of education, first recall what actually comes to your mind when you think of education. So according to the society, or according to what is usually being done to children, or in general to anybody out there, in the form of education, by the name of education, is something that could be put as knowledge transfer. It is something like, it is similar to putting in information, feeding in information to the child, right? Telling the child what's wrong, what's right, what's good, what's bad, and then feeding in a lot of information, and then analyzing or assessing the child's memory, basically memory, how much he could memorize and how much he could actually put out in the form of test, right? So now education is mostly seen, if you go to the dictionary meaning, the today's dictionary, the modern dictionary meaning of education, you would see something that is related to instructions, or teaching children through instructions in schools and universities, around those lines. So that is supposedly the modern definition of education. So schools today, or in general adults today, are so much excited and pumped up with energy to and thinking about what I can teach my child today, what anything new that I can teach my child today, and then filling up their minds or revising their minds, their memory with information, and then devising ways to just feed in this information to the child's mind. And then say after a week or a month there is a test, there is something by the name of test, through which the child's learning, that means how much the child has memorized that information, is just tested through that test, is tested through that examination, or however you wish to put it. So is that the core purpose of education? Can education be just defined as feeding in information or knowledge transfer? Or even if you want to bring in experiential knowledge, or implemented learning and all of that stuff, still, can education just be feeding in information or transferring information from an adult to a child, and then again giving instructions to the child on how he can implement that information in his real life? Instructions to carry on the transfer of information, instructions to memorize the information, instructions to implement the information, right? Instructions everywhere. So what is education? If you look back at the origin of this term education, the origin goes back to, it has a Latin origin, and by the term educare. Apologies if the pronunciation is not right, but it is somewhere similar to this, educare. And educare, the original meaning of educare is very, very opposite to what modern education is actually representing. While modern education represents feeding in information, knowledge transfer, and then testing it out, the original meaning of the origin word educare of the term education actually means drawing out information. drawing out information from the child. It is no way similar, it is in no way connected to feeding in information. And this can be done through not exactly teaching, I wouldn't say teaching, but this can be done through facilitating, a child's learning journey, where you are, say, providing a healthy environment. Yes, all that you can do, you are doing it. Healthy environment, good resources, and all of that stuff. And most importantly, you are providing the time and the resource to draw out information from the child. You could be doing this through various ways again, right? Implementing could happen in various ways. Once you understand this fundamental definition of the origin of education, not just what's going around the world right now at this moment, but go back to the roots. What does education mean? And drawing out information from a child actually means that the child already has some wisdom or intellectual ability that he can apply, and start off his thinking process, or exercise his thinking skill, put on his thinking hat, and tell out the answers, right? Using his wisdom, his experiences, his intellectual ability, his skills, he can give you the answer. Now when I'm saying an answer, I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. If you just want the right answer at the first go, then yes, you have to feed in instructions. And yes, child will be capable of taking in instructions, child will be capable of regurgitating all the information that he has just gulped down his throat on the test, and the child has the capability, is able to get 10 on 10 or 100 on 100 in that exam paper. But what is lost in this journey? Is the implementation of his own thinking skill, is the utilization of his own wisdom that's actually coming from his intuition, and to actually put on his thinking hat and shoot out various answers that could be wrong, could be right, but eventually he is learning from all of these answers put together. He's not just learning from one instruction that this is the question, this is the answer, this is how you are supposed to be doing this addition, this is how you are supposed to be framing this sentence to get an A, to get a tick mark, right? No. The true meaning of education is very much in contrary to what is actually happening out there right now in the world. Well, maybe 90% to 95% of the education system in the world. Obviously, I cannot generalize, and I'm not here to generalize, but I'm just here to bring awareness within you to see where you are standing in your child's journey of learning. And the major facilitation that you can do to draw out information from your child, not to feed in information, but to draw out information, can happen through questions. Questions, very, very important thing, questions. While even to this generation, and even in a generation earlier, the last even up to say 8 to 10 generations, the questioning ability was actually killed, right? Or maybe 4 to 5 generations. Again, I cannot put out the exact number, but it's for you to look into your own journey again, look into your own beliefs. When there is a child, or when there is a child who is asking a question, it is rarely encouraged, and most often it's actually ignored, or said, you shouldn't be asking so many questions, just follow what I'm saying, just do what I'm asking you to do, right? So this, again, the questions that actually help anybody to bring out information is the ability to question is being killed in the child when the child is when the child is instructed to follow instructions, right? So going back to the roots of education, your duty or your responsibility or your job as an adult who wishes to teach your child, I'm not sure if teaching is a right word, but who wishes sorry for that, who wishes to teach your child should be to facilitate your child's learning journey, to draw out information from your child's brain. Your child is already wise. To draw out information from your child's brain by asking questions, through questions, n number of questions. Just keep asking questions, asking questions, asking questions at any instance of time. And again, this is not limited to just academics or reading or writing or math or science or environmental studies. Even if it is just about cleaning up the floor, even if it is about cleaning up some spilled over water, spilled over milk, or resolving conflicts between siblings, just keep on asking questions. That is when you are facilitating your child's learning at that moment through that experience of your child. Stay tuned to the PIP podcast and stay connected. Thank you. Bye-bye.